Hello, welcome to Election Night 2020. Tonight, we have Kirsten Gillibrand, who is vying to be the next President of the United States. She's going up against the incumbent President Donald Trump they are both from New York, and right now it is 7 p.m. in the East. We have a CNN projection right now in the state of Vermont. We can now project that Kirsten Gillibrand, she will defeat Donald Trump in this race. 3 electoral votes. No surprise. No surprise in the state of Kentucky. The projected winner is the President Donald Trump. He will carry their 8 electoral votes. Moving quickly in Indiana, the President will carry their 11 electoral votes as well. In South Carolina, their 9 electoral votes. The President, he will take South Carolina and its 9 electoral votes. In the crucial battleground state of Virginia, this is a key race alert. It has 13 electoral votes. Currently, Kirsten Gillibrand is in the lead with just 10% of the vote, and this is going to be a hotly contested race in Virginia. In Georgia, 16 electoral votes, but with just 1% of the vote in, it's already very, very close. Kirsten Gillibrand just 2 points behind the incumbent president at this hour in Georgia. Taking a look at the race to 270. 270 is needed to win. Kamala Harris. Kirsten Gillibrand has 3 electoral votes. The president has 2018. 507 electoral votes remain to be allocated. We have a CNN projection right now. In West Virginia, it's 5 electoral votes. The president, he will carry West Virginia. He defeats Gillibrand in the state by a wide margin. In Ohio, Kirsten Gillibrand is currently ahead by a tiny margin with just 1% of the vote, and you can already see how close it is in Ohio. This is going to be a hotly contested race. In the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes. This is a key race alert. The president is currently above Kirsten Gillibrand with 5% of the vote in. Currently looking at the race to the White House, 270 to win. 3 electoral votes for Kirsten Gillibrand, 33 for Donald Trump. 502 electoral votes remain. We have a lot of projections right now at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. Alabama, with 9 electoral votes, will go to the president. In Mississippi, he will carry their 6 electoral votes. In the state of Tennessee, the president, he will carry their 11 electoral votes. In Tennessee, in Oklahoma, the president will carry their 7 electoral votes. In Oklahoma, moving quickly in Missouri, the president will carry their 10 electoral votes in the great state of Missouri. And in the state of Maine, that 2nd congressional district, that will remain in Trump's column. In the Trump column, that 2nd district in Maine will make a projection in the other 2 in just a moment. But in Illinois, Kirsten Gillibrand, she will win their 20 electoral votes. In Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes to Kirsten Gillibrand. In Rhode Island, Kirsten Gillibrand will take their 4 electoral votes in the state of Rhode Island. She is moving quickly in Connecticut. 7 electoral votes will go to Kirsten Gillibrand. In New Jersey, 14 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand, the projected winner. In the great state of Maryland, in the race for the presidency there, Kirsten Gillibrand, she will beat Donald Trump. That is a CNN projection right now. In the District of Columbia, there are 3 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand is the projected winner. This is a key race alert. In Maine, the great state of Maine, Kirsten Gillibrand, she will defeat the president in Maine at large and in that 1st congressional district. In Pennsylvania, this is a key race alert. 20 electoral votes up for grabs. Kirsten Gillibrand right now with a commanding lead over the president, but only Philadelphia, the very middle of Philadelphia, is currently reporting. So we expect this to change when some of the more rural counties come in expectedly for the president. This is a key race alert in Florida. 84% of the vote is in. 29 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand now with a commanding lead. But as of right now, the blue counties of Broward, Palm Beach, and Miami-Dade, they have all pretty much fully reported, and only Republican counties are out. So we'll see how much the president can close this gap and whether Kirsten Gillibrand can hang on in Florida. In New Hampshire, Kirsten Gillibrand currently leading by a little bit there with almost a quarter of the vote in New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes. In Ohio, 18 electoral votes. An update on Ohio, still 6% of the vote in. Kirsten Gillibrand and the president are now tied, with Gillibrand having a tiny lead. In North Carolina, 15 electoral votes. With 10% of the vote in, the president currently has a 2-point lead over Kirsten Gillibrand. In Virginia, 13 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand with a lead, 20% of the vote is in Virginia. In Georgia, 16 electoral votes, almost 10% of the vote is in, with 9% of the vote in. The president holding a lead over Kirsten Gillibrand at this hour. Now let's take a look at the race for the presidency. You need 270 to win. Look at how close it is right now. Already 78 electoral votes for Kirsten Gillibrand, 77 for the President of the United States. 383 electoral votes remain undecided. We have a CNN projection in the state of Arkansas. The President, he will defeat Gillibrand in this state. 6 electoral votes in the state of Arkansas. Taking a look at the race to 270, 83 electoral votes for the President. He's taken the lead over Kirsten Gillibrand with 377 electoral votes. Outstanding, you need 270 to win. It's 9 o'clock, the top of the hour on the East Coast. We have a lot of projections. Starting off in New Mexico, 5 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand, the projected winner. In the state of Minnesota, people think that this will be close. We can project Kirsten Gillibrand. She will win in Minnesota, and it's 10 electoral votes. In New York, 29 electoral votes will go to Kirsten Gillibrand. And now in the great state of Texas, 38 electoral votes. The president will carry Texas by a decisive margin. People thought this would be competitive after Beto O'Rourke narrowly lost his Senate race to Ted Cruz. But at this hour, we can now project the president will carry the state of Texas. In Louisiana, 8 electoral votes. The president, the winner in Louisiana. He's moving quickly in Nebraska. All 5 of their electoral votes, including that swingish 2nd congressional district, he will carry all 5 of their electoral votes. In Kansas, he will move quickly and carry their 6 electoral votes. Same thing in these trio of states, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming. He will win in all 3 of these states by decisive margin. He defeats Gillibrand in all 3 of these states. Apologies for that noise outside. Now let's go over our key race alerts. In Arizona, none of the vote is in. We cannot make a projection yet. In Colorado, we do apologize. That's 9 electoral votes in Colorado. Gillibrand right now with a 6-point lead, with about 10% of the precincts reporting. In Wisconsin, also 10% of the precincts reporting, 10 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand still has a lead in Wisconsin. In Michigan, the Gillibrand campaign desperately wants this. And Pennsylvania, they need 16 electoral votes. Gillibrand, Trump in a neck-and-neck race in Michigan with 40% of the vote in. In Pennsylvania, we still have very few precincts reporting. They've had a few troubles with their voting today. 3% of the precincts are reporting, 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania. In Florida, 29 electoral votes. This is coming right down to the wire. 90% of the vote in. Just got reports that most of the GOP precincts have reported, but understandably there are still some Democratic counties yet to report and some Republican counties yet to report. We'll see how this plays out. Neck and neck in Florida. In New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes. The president with a small lead in New Hampshire with 20% of the vote in. In Ohio, 18 electoral votes, 50.2, 49.1. Let's see how Ohio plays out. In North Carolina, 15 electoral votes. The president with a small lead over Kirsten Gillibrand, but just 12% of the vote has been counted. In Virginia, 13 electoral votes. Almost 40% of the vote is in. Kirsten Gillibrand with a small lead over the president at this hour. In Georgia, 16 electoral votes. We're still waiting on some Democratic counties before reporting this state. There's some Democratic and Republican counties left to report. 35% of precincts have reported. In the race for the White House, 122 electoral votes for Kirsten Gillibrand, 149 for the President of the United States. They both need 270 to win. 267 electoral votes remain undecided. We have a CNN projection right now in Georgia. This is a major projection. 16 electoral votes. The president carries the state of Georgia. We just got a brand new flood of votes coming in. The president wins Georgia. In Ohio, 18 electoral votes. He's moving quickly in Ohio. He wins that state, and it's 18 electoral votes. This is a big win for the Trump campaign. But Kirsten Gillibrand, she will win in Virginia. 13 electoral votes. The Gillibrand campaign wins Virginia. They also win in Colorado with 9 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand wins in Colorado. The president, he will carry 2 states at this hour. Utah with 6 electoral votes and Montana with 3 electoral votes. He will carry both of those states. In Nevada, 6 electoral votes. Only GOP counties have officially reported results. 1% of the vote in. We're still waiting for Clark County to come in. 6 electoral votes. The president with a commanding lead. In Iowa, we have no vote totals yet. We'll update you on Iowa soon. In Arizona, this is a key race alert. 20% of the vote is in. Kirsten Gillibrand right now behind the president at this hour. 11 electoral votes. In the great state of Wisconsin, 74% of the vote is in. Kirsten Gillibrand. Trump, he is closing in on Gillibrand. He was down by a much bigger margin than this just about 30 minutes ago. We'll see how many more GOP counties and have yet to report, and will that be enough? Because Milwaukee, they've all done in Milwaukee, they've all done in the other Democratic areas. They're just waiting for Republican areas and see how much the president will be able to close that gap. But in Michigan, 16 electoral votes, 41% of the vote is in. 49. Let's see how Michigan plays out soon. In Pennsylvania, 33% of the vote is in. Gillibrand with a commanding lead over the president. But again, Trump is closing the gap in Pennsylvania. In Florida, we have a major projection right now. 29 electoral votes, 93% of the vote has officially reported. Gillibrand hangs on to a razor-thin lead over the president at this hour. There you see, apologies for that. That should say 48.9 for the president, not 49. That of course doesn't add up to 50. 48.9 for the president of the United States. A graphical over there. In the state of New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes. The president currently leading Gillibrand in the great state of New Hampshire. In North Carolina, 58% of the vote in. We're still waiting on some Republican counties, but we expect this to be called very soon. In the race to 270, 144 for Kirsten Gillibrand, 192 for the president. 202 electoral votes remain. We have a major projection right now. As I said earlier, we expect to be able to call North Carolina soon. Now we can call that North Carolina will go to the president. 15 electoral votes. North Carolina goes into the GOP column. President Trump is building up a very significant lead in the Electoral College over Kirsten Gillibrand. But right now it is 11 p.m. We have some major projections right now. In Washington, 12 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand, the projected winner. In Oregon, she's moving quickly. In Oregon, 7 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand, the projected winner. California will award all 55 of their electoral votes to Kirsten Gillibrand. And in the great state of Hawaii, 4 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand, the projected winner. In the great state of Idaho, 4 electoral votes. Donald Trump, the projected winner. And we now have a major call. The president has taken the lead in Florida. No more Democratic counties are yet to report, with 95% of the vote now in. We can say, even though the president is only very, very narrowly leading right now, the areas that are out are all GOP counties, and we can project that the president will carry Florida, and it's 29 electoral votes. But it's a bittersweet night for both campaigns because Trump wins Florida and Ohio, but there's a pickup for the Democrats in Michigan. In Michigan, a key race alert. Kirsten Gillibrand, she is the projected winner in Michigan. In Nevada, this is a key race alert. The president increasing his margin. We're still waiting for Clark County to come in Nevada. In Iowa, they're having a lot of trouble with their voting there. Still nothing reporting in Iowa. We'll keep you up to date on that. In Arizona, 11 electoral votes. The president holding on to a narrow lead. As I said earlier, Wisconsin, Trump is closing the gap little by little. He's closing it on Gillibrand. They're 48.9, 48.9. We'll see how that plays out. 90% of the vote is now reporting. In Pennsylvania, we have a major projection. For some reason, they've stopped counting ballots in the Philadelphia area and in the close-in Philadelphia suburbs. They need to fix that up. But right now, the rural counties have now all reported, and the president has taken an overwhelming lead in Pennsylvania in the race for presidency. 242 for Kirsten Gillibrand, 240 for the President of the United States. 56 remain undecided. They both need a few more states to win the presidency. We have a CNN projection. Arizona will go to the President of the United States. 11 electoral votes. In Nevada, 6 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand, the projected winner. So a win there for the Trump campaign in the state of Arizona, and then Gillibrand moving quickly in Nevada. In Pennsylvania, Gillibrand, she's closing the gap. She was down by a very solid 18-19 points. She is closing it. She's now just 4 points behind the President of the United States, less than 4 points behind. We're just waiting for Philadelphia to finish reporting. We'll see how that plays out. In Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes. The President holding on to a very narrow lead. We're still waiting for a few more Republican and Democratic counties to finish reporting. In the state of Iowa, we're finally getting some results there. They had a lot of problems with the voting, and 6 electoral votes. The President with an overwhelming margin over Kirsten Gillibrand, but again, only one county officially reporting, and that is an overwhelming Republican county. In the race for the White House, 248 for Kirsten Gillibrand, 251 for the President of the United States. You need 270 to win. 39 electoral votes remain undecided. We have a major CNN projection right now. Alaska, the President will carry the state of Alaska. We have a key race alert. We will update you on all the outstanding states right now. In Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes. Donald Trump holding on to a narrow lead. We're still waiting for the last of Philadelphia to finish reporting. But in Wisconsin, we can project that the President hangs on to a narrow lead. We're still waiting for a few more counties to finish reporting in Wisconsin. In Iowa, they're finally getting really underway. Here, still a lot of Republican counties reporting. We haven't got any results from Des Moines. We're still waiting in Iowa. 6 electoral votes. So, in the race for the White House, 270 to win, 248 for Kirsten Gillibrand, 254 for the President of the United States. 36 electoral votes remain undecided. This is anyone's game at this point. But as of right now, we have a massive CNN projection right now. Pennsylvania goes to Kirsten Gillibrand. Kirsten Gillibrand will win in Pennsylvania. She was down earlier, but once the rest of Philadelphia now has reported, we can project Kirsten Gillibrand in a CNN projection will win Pennsylvania, and it's 20 electoral votes. Let's update you on the 2 outstanding states. In Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes. It's a dead even. Anyone's game at this point. The President, Kirsten Gillibrand, the President, holding on to a very narrow lead in Wisconsin. In Iowa, 40% of the vote is now being reported. They're really working hard to get it out. In Iowa, the President holding on to a double-digit lead. Sorry, not quite double-digit, but almost double-digit lead in Iowa. In the race to 270, Kirsten Gillibrand, she needs one more state to be elected President of the United States. She has 268 electoral votes compared to the President's 254. But one thing to note, she is narrowly behind in both of the outstanding states. 16 electoral votes remain undecided. As of right now, this is absolutely massive. This completely throws everything out the window. And as of right now, we have a absolutely huge CNN projection. CNN projects that Wisconsin, the President, he will carry the state of Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes. The President will narrowly defeat Kirsten Gillibrand in this hotly contested race. The only outstanding state left is the state of Iowa. 70% of the vote is in. Donald Trump is holding on to a significant lead in Iowa. In the race for the White House, I said it would never be the same. It all comes down to one state, Iowa. 268 for Kirsten Gillibrand, 264 for the President of the United States. We'll find out who will be the next President of the United States very, very soon. We're just going to keep counting. In Iowa, 6 electoral votes. Kirsten Gillibrand, she is closing the gap. There you see, of course, no change. Of course, 90% of the vote is in. We're still waiting on Des Moines County, where Des Moines City is, and also Iowa City. Both of these are heavily Democratic, but we're still waiting on a few more rural counties. We'll see how this plays out. This is hotly contested. 90% of the vote is in. Donald Trump, 51.0. Kirsten Gillibrand, 48.5. Let's keep going. We have a major CNN projection right now. We can now project that the presidency of the United States, Donald Trump, he will be re-elected as President of the United States. He defeats Kirsten Gillibrand in this ugly, back and forth, and very divisive campaign. 270 to win. He has surpassed that, and of course, you know, it comes from Iowa, our last outstanding state. The president, he will carry Iowa, defeats Kirsten Gillibrand in the state, and of course that means he wins the presidency of the United States ever so narrowly, with exactly as many as you need. As you know, every electoral vote counts. For example, if Kirsten Gillibrand has just been able to pick up that 2nd district in Nebraska or that 2nd district in Maine, it would have gone to a tie, which would have gone to the House of Representatives, and that's currently controlled by Democrats, as we're about to project. They would have chosen Kirsten Gillibrand. Every electoral vote counts. The U.S. House, Democrats in charge. They defeat Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans in that race. 218, they have surpassed that. We actually now have a major CNN projection. The Democrats, with just enough members, exactly 50 members, they pick up 3 seats. They pick up Cory Gardner's seat in Colorado. They pick up another seat in North Carolina, and they also pick up Suzanne Collins' seat in Maine, and they also pick up the state of Montana. They pick up those 4 states, but they also lose Doug Jones's seat in Alabama. So that equals out to a net gain of 3 for the Democrats. They win back the Senate with help of Kirsten Gillibrand, the Vice President there in Kamala Harris. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe for more great content like this, and I hope you have a great day. Cheers. Fun election.